Hey everybody, welcome to day 2 of the 30 Days of JavaScript challenge by Asa Bennett. Uh, if you saw the last one, which was just the intro, this is day 2 about data types. And let's just get right into it. The first challenge is to create a variable and assign it an initial value. This is level 1. These are challenges work in 3 levels. They're level 1, level 2, level 3, and they get increasingly harder with each level. So level 1 is just simple stuff, pretty easy to get through stuff. And like I said, the first challenge was just to create the variable and assign it a value, which we'll do. Uh, the series is just a continuation of last time. The questions are on the left-hand side in the browser. The console is open at the bottom left, and you'll see the answers. The output from the logs in the bottom left of the screen. We're up to challenge 3. Challenge 2 was just to print the variable that was assigned the string 30 days of JavaScript, as you can see in the console. Challenge 3 is print the length of the string on the browser console using console.log. You print length, which is how many characters are in a string, by using the length, adding that length to the variable. To the variable. Uh, it counts white spaces, so be careful about that. It counts empty spaces, I should say. So when you count empty spaces, in JavaScript also is a zero indexed. So you count from 0, not from 1. So you count 0, 1, 2, 3, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're up to challenge. What's this one? Change all string characters, the capital letters, up to lowercase. So to make things lowercase or uppercase in JavaScript, you can just tag on the to uppercase method for uppercase and to lowercase method for lowercase. Now we're cutting, which is slice out the first word of the string using substring or substring method. I actually did it with the slice method because that was the one I was familiar with. I didn't really know yet that there was a substring method, though I did read through the exercise. I've been doing it with the slice so far, so I just went straight and sliced it. And with slice, you just start from the starting index and up until the index you want to stop at. So yeah, you see, I started on 0 index, which would be a 3, and then you count 0, 1, 2, 3, and yeah, and then what do you call it? So I get cut out the first space, then all the way up to 30, and we got 30. Now we'll slice out the phrase of days of JavaScript from 30 days of JavaScript. So we're using a slice again. I think I come back later and fix it and use the substring method. I finally realized there was a substring method, and I finally came back and used the substring method. Once again, I sliced from the 3rd all the way to the 21st, which gave me days of JavaScript. Let's see. All right, now we're checking if the string contains a word using the dot includes method, which is just dot includes, and then the string you want to search for. It only outputs true or false. So it'll either tell you true, the string is in the search query is in the string, or not, and false if it's not. And next, we're gonna split the string. I'm guessing using the split method. Splits it and returns a new array with the string. You can split by different criteria. You can split by space, by any criteria you want, actually, as long as it's in the string. You can split by that method. We're splitting the string. Right, so in this exercise, I'm splitting by commas. So it splits the thing and tacks on a comma after every index, every value of the index in the string. Facebook, Google, Microsoft. Okay, so we're splitting this string at the comma and changing to an array. So I guess I had to, because I could have just copied it. I don't know why I didn't just copy it. But yeah, so that's the string. and with the commas in it already. So we want to split it at the commas. So where everywhere there's a comma, it splits it there. We're using the split. So in the split method, in the brackets, you put quotations and a comma to tell it that that's what I want it to be split by, and you do the split now. There we go. We have an error. Oh, okay. I didn't know how to spell log. I suddenly forgot how to spell log. But there we go. We have a splitted array with the 3 strings splitted at the comma. Let's see. Did I miss anything? No. Yeah. Okay. So we did the space. Now we're doing the comma. I don't know. Why do I have 2 commas? I think I messed up one of the exercises. 30 days of JavaScript at the space using splits. Okay, so yeah. I did split by space. I don't know why. I'll put it something like what is going on? Okay. 0, 1, 2. I don't know. I think I'm sorry, I got lost. So change 30 days of JavaScript to 30 days of Python using the replace method. The replace is also a method. You write a bracket, 2 brackets, an opening and closing bracket. You include the string that you want to replace, and then after that, after a comma, you add the string that you want to replace it with. In this case, JavaScript is the string we want to replace, and Python is the string we want to replace it with. And then moving on with what is the character at index 15 in 30 days of JavaScript? We're going to use character at method and just add the index that we're trying to find out what character is that. In 30 days of JavaScript, it was 15. It was S, right? What is the character code of J in 30 days of JavaScript using character code at? So I think I found the character first by using the character at to find, the index of method to find the index of the character, and then character code at to find the character code of the character at that index. Use index of to determine the position of the first occurrence in 30 days of JavaScript. What are we of n? Okay, of a. So index of finds the index of the character or the string. The first index, just the first one. It doesn't find multiple ones. It just starts at the first occurrence of that character or string, I think. Use last index of to determine the position of the last occurrence of A in 30 days of JavaScript. So last index of A would be 14. Also, it only checks it's last. It's the last index, so it makes sense. The last occurrence of that string. Use last index of to determine the last occurrence of A. Okay. Use index of to find the position of the first occurrence of the word because in the following sentence. So you cannot end the sentence with because is a conjunction. So first, since it's a string, first I split it into an array because strings don't have an index. They're just strings. They're not an array. So I guess we could say that index of and all of these are like array methods that only work on arrays. So if you have a string, you first split it or change it into an array and then use the method on it. All right. Use last index of to find. I just realized how distracting those tooltips. Like I can't read. I mean, in this situation, when you're working in it, it's all great because you need you learn what the methods do and it shows you all the available options. But now that I'm trying to read it, it's kind of hard to see. I gotta wait for it to finish to be able to see what the exercise, which is what the questions on the left-hand side should be. But my eyes are also having trouble focusing here in result. Like my eyes, I can only see the console, though the screen shows both the questions on the side. All right, so we're use search. Okay. All right, so we split the string into an array. And then we used index of to find the first occurrence of the cause. All right, last index of to find the position of the last occurrence of the word because. Okay, so last index of, so same thing, which was 6. 8 was the first index of. All right, use search to find the position of the first occurrence of the word because in the following sentence. What the fuck? You use that in this. I am so lost. You search to find the position of the first occurrence of the word because in the following sentence. Okay, so I also did. I don't. I guess I didn't get it this time, but I did search. I used index up again because I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I did. Maybe I didn't read that properly. But there we go. I used index up, but I think there's also a search method. Use trim to remove any trailing white space at the beginning and at the end of a string, e.g. 30 days of JavaScript. So okay, we have a string, there's a big space in front with like 2 spaces in front of it. Then so once again, just tacked on the trim method to the end of the variable that holds the string, which would be trailing in this case. And what we have there's a big space in front, but without this big space in front. So if you look in the console, you see the first output where there's a space in front, and then right after there's no space in front. I got left behind. Okay, left index. So why am I so lost? Okay. I see what happened. So I finally figured out those. So I went back. You searched, like I remember that there were. I was like, what's going on? So I realized there was a search method, and I didn't have to use index of. So, okay, yeah, there we go. I even wrote it in the comments. I didn't even notice that. So you cannot end the sentence because we're gonna use a search to search for the position of the first occurrence of the word because it's still gonna output about the same as the index of, but I guess this is just a specific string. Right, okay, the output is a bit different. So, okay. I didn't realize it would be on top of 31. We got 31, I think. It should be right above there's a big space in front, the first output with the space, that's the value there. All right, then we have to use the starts with method with the string 30 days of JavaScript to make the result true. So we use console.log, then we type the variable and then starts with method and enter the string that we want to know if it starts with. If it starts with it, true. If it doesn't, false. So in this case, it was 30, and 30 days of JavaScript does start with 30. So we have true. Use end with method with the string 30 days of JavaScript and make the result true. So and challenge that ends with, that's the variable that stores the string, and then JavaScript, the string we're trying to find out if the string ends with, and we get true. 30 days of JavaScript does end with JavaScript. And then we use the match method to find all the A's in 30 days of JavaScript. So okay, let's see, match method to find all the A's. So console.log 30 days of JavaScript. Console.log challenge.match A. Oh man, this was a huge one. I don't know what I was doing here. It said to do it twice, but for some odd reason, I put repeat 30, and yeah. But I fixed it later on, and as you can see in the console, it now says repeat 2 or 3, not 30 anymore. Now we're on level 2, and still basically starts off about the same. We're just logging stuff in because this is just day 2. There's nothing fancy going on here. So the first log was the string, there is no exercise better for the heart than reaching down and lifting people up. I think this is a quote by somebody, John Holmes. And then there's another one, Mother Teresa quote. Love is not patronizing and charity isn't about pity. It is about love. Charity and love are the same. with charity, you give love. So don't just give money, but reach out your hand instead. And we just logged in on the console, nothing too extreme. Uh, Next, we'll check if type of 10 is exactly equal to 10. If not, if not, make it exactly equal. So JavaScript handles strings and numbers differently. Like if you write 10 and you put quotations around it, that 10 is a string, it's not a number. So you have to tell JavaScript that, you want it to treat it as a number. A JavaScript has something called type coercion, where if it makes sense in that case for it to treat it as a number, it will convert it to a number, but you don't really want to depend on that. So you usually need to convert strings to numbers if you want to use them as in your mathematical equations or calculations and stuff like that. But yeah, that's how I understand it so far on my level. But yeah, that's what we're doing here. So the question was if 10, 10 is not exactly equal to 10, because the first 10 is a string and the second 10 is a number, because the first 10 has the quotations around it and the second 10 does not have quotations around it. So JavaScript sees a string and it sees a number. You can check the type of the data in JavaScript with the type of. You just type of, and you type the whatever it is you're checking or the variable that stores it. So in this case, to do that, I think I just said if type of number string, which is number string is the 10 string, is the string 10, and type of 10, which is the number. If they're not strictly equal to if they're strictly equal to each other, console.log true. Else if type of number string, which is the 10 with the quotations around it, is not equal to type of 10, which is the number. Number string concatenated. I think concatenated. Add number string to number string 2, which is just a 0. So 0 plus 10. But then I added the number and then brackets in front of number string to convert it from a string to a number. I think you can also convert a string to a number by adding a plus in front of it, and I think also parse integer, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on any of this stuff. Please do your due diligence. I am just a beginner, and I am just learning this stuff myself. So don't not check. Like Google is your friend. Google is your friend. Copilot will save your life and whatnot. So, but I'm pretty sure you can with adding a plus sign in front or parse integer. I think there's one more way to convert a string to a number, but I can't. It's not coming to me at the moment. All right, so I told it if the types are not equal, like as if the string is not equals to the number, which it's not, you'll take the number string, which is 2, which is number string 2, which is equal to 0, and add the number string, which is the 10 string, but convert it to a number first, and then add it to number string 2. So I basically just said 0 plus 10, but I want the output to be 10 number, not a string. So there, it was just a whole bunch of. I don't know why I did that way. I don't think the exercise required all that work. But yeah. So okay, check if parse flow 9.8 is equal to 10, and if not, make it exactly equals to 10. All right. So this is also another string, 9.8. I checked the type, I logged it and checked its type. Oh yeah, there's a way. Parse flow, there's apparently another way to change a string to a number. Because as you can see, when I logged it logged it the number, and then I logged the type of it, and it logged it as a number. So I'm guessing parse flow was another way to change our strings to numbers. And but float being floating point numbers, which is like decimals, it lets you write decimals, I'm guessing. So now when I've done that, there's no 9.8 is not 10, right? So I just used a math round on it, And math.round if it's over zero point 0.5, just like in regular math. If it's over zero point 0.5, it rounds up. If it's under zero point 0.5, it rounds down. I think, right? I think that's how math round. Right, math. That's math.round. Math.ceiling would round down. Math.ceiling, I'm sorry, would round up, and math.floor would round down. So math.round was the obvious choice here because it rounds in the appropriate direction. All right, then check if on is found in both Python and Python and Jargon. So yeah, just the dot includes. I just dot included both cases, and there we go. We got true in both cases, because Python does have on in it, and Jargon does have on in it. So it's just the variable dot. You tack on the includes method, and you put the string that you want to find out if it includes it. I hope this course is not full of jargon. Check if jargon is in the sentence. All right, so I think there's another case where I had to split into an array first. Oh wait, I could just straight use the includes under variable. Let's see. A bit slow with the typing. I'm looking. Console.log true. Console.log. Just to check, I'm guessing. Okay, so I didn't even need to split it into arrays. So I guess it's also another thing in JavaScript where apparently you can use array methods on strings, because JavaScript will create a little array before and then use the method on it. Something else I learned somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube that I learned that. So, like I said, do your due diligence. I am still just a beginner. I'm still just working through it. So check, check. Don't just take my word for it. Check. All right, here we're generating a random number from 0 to 100, I think, inclusively. This is where we use the math.random. Math.random generates a number between 0 and 1, which are decimal numbers. And then, it generates a number between 0 and 1. So 0.1, 0.101, 10102. That, get just any number between 0 and 1. So to use it to generate random numbers, you first have to use math.floor, because whatever you get will be a floating point number. So you want the math.floor to round it down to the closest value. I guess you could round if you want, but everywhere I've seen so far, the thing to do has always been to round down. And then math.random times the max of the number you're trying to generate. And then, so if you generated 0.2, it will multiply it by 100 and give you a whole number. So in this case, we're trying to generate a range. Well, actually, the first one was between 0 and 100, and you should add 1 because it's 0 and it starts from 0. So you need to add 1 to whatever it is you're generating, or like in this case, 0 to 100. So it would have generated 0 to 99 if we hadn't multiplied by 101. And in the next case, we're generating a range, so between 50 and 100. And there's a formula for it. It's math.floor, math.random times the max number in the range minus the min plus 1, and then plus the min again. So in this case, the max is 100, and then we're subtracting 50 from 100 because that is the min of the range, and then we add 1. That's been multiplied by math.random, and then we're adding the min again plus 50 to get a number between 50 and 100. And here we're generating a number between 0 and 2255 inclusively. So 256 times math.random, or math.random times 256. And then we use math.floor to round it down to the nearest value so we don't get a decimal. And we got 1. Well, it should change every time I save because it's a random number. I think every time I save, the number changes. Access to JavaScript string characters using a random number. Oh, okay, this is a generating a random index. So I think when you first take the string, you split it into an array, and you do the same math dot random operation, but this time on the length of the array, which is why you had to split it into an array. So you uh, yeah, to multiply by the length of the array, and you use that math dot floor to round it down to the nearest number. The thing about mostly about math dot random is it's always accompanied by a math dot floor. I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually use a math dot random without wrapping it in a math dot floor, because almost always want to return a whole number. And I don't think I've never ever seen anybody not math out floor first before math out random. I should check up on that. That seems interesting. But yeah, most likely, at least at this level, at this stage, it's everything. Every time you use a math out random, it's always preceded by a math out floor, just to get whatever number you get back down to the nearest value. And then with using escape characters here, escape characters being is that backslash n. That's a backslash, right? Is that a forward slash? That's a backslash. So backslash n to basically break that start of the new line. But yeah, that's about where we are so far. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, follow. Hopefully we can continue this series. I know this second video took forever. I'm sorry. It's harder than I thought. But yeah, please like, subscribe, and follow, just so we can get more content. Just to see, make sure you comment that I'm always streaming on Twitch and learning from others, because I'm still not there yet. So if you want, you can join us on Twitch. We stream very early where we are. It's early where we are. We don't know what time it is where you will be, but we're usually on Twitch streaming, so you can join us on there and teach me new tricks. We can make fun of JavaScript together. Sweet. You can come and talk with me about how much you hate JavaScript, how much you love JavaScript. It's whatever. But we're usually on Twitch. The links will be in the description. Also, the link to the original repo should also be in the instruction if you also want to check it out. So yeah, here we're using substring to slice out the phrase because from the following sentence. So you cannot end the sentence with because it's a conjunction. I think it's basically, we've done this before, but I think I used the slice by because I didn't want to know what the substring was yet. But yeah, it seems about the same as the what do you call it? As slice, right? I don't want to say anything and make a fool of myself. So, but yes, we're slicing something out. So for the slice, I always go to the slice method. I used to use the splice, but then I found there was an issue. I don't even know. The slice was just easier, so I just went back to using slice. But here, string dot index of because, last index of because, so we're slicing from 31 to 54. Okay, so I used it to find the starting index, which is the first index of because, and then I used it to find the last index of, which is the last index of because. So and then I put the substring, and then slice from 31 from the 31st index to the 54th index, which is the end of because, right? So that's not the same as the last index of, right? It's 54, not 42, 47, right? Because it just starts at the index of because, right? So 47 would be the B. So we had to move all the way to 54, which I'm guessing is the first space after the because. So it started from 31st all the way to the 54th index. And then there we have because. I'm sorry, it's only 3 because. All right. Now, level three, and which we should be done. Count the number of the word love in the sentence. So, love. How do okay with match? I kind of blurted out for me. Like, how do I do that? So, okay, we use that match to send the words love to an array. I guess match gives us a whole new an array with all the strings in it, and then we just check the length of that array for the number of occurrences of love. Love is the best thing in the world, in this world. Some found their love and some are still looking for that. That makes no sense. So the string didn't work, so I just wrote a regex instead. Okay, because the string was outputting one, which makes no sense because I just read like three different full words. But you can use a regex in the match method to match that regex, and the flags are just global, and the I is case insensitive, so it doesn't matter. It returns all the words love, whether capital or lowercase. And we got three, so let's see. Love is the biggest thing in this world. Some found their love, and some are still living. Yeah, so three. Three is the correct output. I don't know why the string didn't work. I thought you could use a string. I'll check on that. I know. But yeah, regex works. So regex is way more reliable anyway. So if you can use regex, if you can, yeah, I don't know what to say. Use match to count the number of all because in the following sentence, constant use match to count the number of all the because in the following sentence. Constant to count two because you cannot end a sentence with because is a conjunction. So constant because count equals to count two, the same thing, regex, global flag to check the whole string, and case insensitive flag and dot length. So I returned all the becauses into an array, and we counted the length of that array to find out how many becauses, which is three becauses. All right, clean the following text and find the most frequent word and use replace and regular expression. So here we have an unclean sentence. That is, we got all those random characters in it. So first we use replace, regex with a character class. We put all the characters we want to replace. Global in case insensitive, and then we replace them with nothing, an empty string. So there's the clean. We'll get the thing with all the symbols removed. And we split that into an array. Now I think I did some fancy way ahead of this chapter stuff by using I used the reduce method. I think because that's how I've come to know how to do it, and it's basically memorized now. It's ingrained in my head now, so I can't do it. I mean, there's a way where you do it where you just use a loop, which is basically what a reduce is, but it has special functions. But and then you add the you increment the index of the. I see. I don't even know how to explain it. But yeah, so I took the clean string, which is all the string without all the stuff removed, and then I replaced the punctuations again. So first we cleaned out all the random characters that didn't mean anything. Then secondly, I took out all the punctuations, which are the commas and the full stops and the question marks and whatnot. So we have a no punks array now. And then we take the clean text called no punks because no punctuations, and we split it into an array. So now to find the most frequent, now I split the array by spaces, so it returned whole words like I am a teacher, and like it then returned I am a T E E A, which it could if I had split it by I think just an empty string. If I split it by just an empty string, it would have just returned the characters. But I split it using a space, so it returned whole words. Anyways, so now that we have the whole words, yeah, I'm gonna use the reduce method to. Uh, it's gonna create an array, right? An object, right? The key of the object will be the word, and then the value would be its occurrence. So the way I understand it, that's what this formula does. So in the reduce method, you have the accumulator and the current value. I think the current value is whatever's in the array, and the accumulator is the previous value, which you initialize with something, right? But it's here it's initialized as an empty object. So I think it takes the word, count it, iterates through the array, and every time it finds that word, it adds one to the value of it. So it initialized with 0 originally. That is you see it says accumulator at the index of the current value. So the current value being the word in the array. And then the value of the accumulator at the index of the current value is equals to accumulator at the current value or 0. So if there's nothing, right, it'll be 0. If there's no the current value, if there's the word doesn't exist, or that it also initializes at 0. But every time it finds that word, as it's iterated through the array, it adds 1 to the value. So the word, the key, and then the value increments by 1. Now we just told it to return the accumulator, which it returns in an object. So that gives us every time you see the word, it tells us how many times it saw the word when it iterated through the array. Then it iterates again for the next word, and it tells us how many times that word occurs. And then after we did that, we sorted the object. That is the frequency object that came out. We sorted it with a sort, which is basically a sort. But this sort you can just dot sort, though it's not advised. You can just dot sort stuff, but there's a thing about characters that causes an error. So you have to put that little formula in the dot sort, which is A being the first and B being the last. That is the order you want it. If you want it in descending order, that is from biggest to lowest, you go B minus A. If you want it in ascending order, from smallest to biggest, you go A minus B. And see, since this where the reduce method is returning an object, we have to use the object.entries, because sort is a array. It's an array method. So yeah, if we didn't use object.entries, it wouldn't know what to do. So we use the B at 1 being the key. So we're sorting by the key, which is the number, that is the frequency of the word, the value. If you type object.value, object.keys, and you put frequency, it will show you'll get an object. Well, you get an array back with all the words, which are the key for that object. And if you put object.values, that is index 1 in the array, in the object. The key is the index 0 and the value is index 1. So if you put object.entries, object.values, you'll get all the numbers. That's why it says B at the index of 1 minus A at the index of 1. That's, to use the values to sort, not the keys. So it's sorted by the most frequent, that is the B, which is the biggest, down to the least occurring, which is the smallest, smallest number of time, which should be 0. I don't know. Well, not because all words occur at least once, so it should be 1. And then dot slice just slices from the 0, which is the biggest, and up to the third value in the array. So you should get the top 3 values in the array. So let's say, like in this case, I think I occurs 3 times, on occurs once, A occurs 2, and teacher 2, right? That's That's on slice. So on slice should only return the I, on, and A. Those are the first three things in the array. Now, if I sorted it correctly, there should actually be two things in the array. I didn't expand the array, is what I see. But yeah, this one's pretty easy. We just got the numbers, and then we just